practice. Everybody was frustrated, upset, disappointed, all of those things. But once we got between the lines, we were moving forward, and our guys did a good job with that.
Love to hear it, right? You love to hear it, and these guys don't have an excuse not to be locked in. I get the emotion of, the rivalry game against Michigan and all that stuff, and the way it ended was tough for sure. But, yeah, because of where we are on the calendar and how important these games are specifically for Ohio State, if you're not locked in, then what are we doing? So that to me is a non-negotiable situation going into tonight.
He answered it. And every time I hear him talk, he just sounds so dialed in. Good young coach, trying to get this team to the tournament, not running from anything. I know there are high expectations because he's the one that got the job. They promoted from within, and he got it. Mm-hmm. And so everyone's going to compare him to what might have been or what coach may have done better or a guy that had more experience. But he seems like he's got a pretty good handle on this thing, and he talked about the program being on the right track.
We've clearly moved forward. We've taken a step forward. How big of a step? Well, we'll see how the season ends up. But I think we have taken a step forward, and that's a good thing. But we got a lot to play for right now, and my focus is on beating Northwestern. Then we got to get ready for the next one, a nice little fun trip out to L.A. So that's the focus, but I think we have done some things to establish what this program is going to be like moving forward, a good foundation as part of year one. And, we'll see at the end of the season, kind of evaluate that. That's the time for that. But the goals are the goals for this program. The standard's the standard. I've been vocal about what I think that is, and we're going to continue working every single day to get there.
Coach Diebler already listening to that Notorious B.I.G. I'm going back to Cali. I don't blame you, Coach, if that's where you're at, because it's cold as hell here in Ohio. But they can't worry about that. It's the Wildcats first. Then we'll get to the Bruins and the Trojans. But, yeah, when you get on that plane, fire up that going back to Cali. That'll get you going.
I feel like the follow-up there for him is define fun. What's fun about the trip? Winning? Winning's fun.
The weather.
Or something else?
The beach.
You got a fun trip. Exactly. I agree with you. I think you read it perfectly. That's what he meant. We get out of here for a little bit. And the other thing is that they're going to be taking, I don't know what USC's got. I mean, that's CB's team. He can tell us about them. But I think the Bruins are formidable, and I think that's going to be a
CB, don't shake your
heck
head.
Of a trip.
You were in the stands and you bought a quarter zip. Come on.
It is a nice.
It
was one of those
I did that with USC, and I got that with Oregon. So at this rate, if you want a team in the Big Ten, I got you. Just let me know
stuff
which team.
Is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
He's got on Flyers gear today.
Philly,
Dayton.
Okay.
Shout out to Torts though. It was good to see Torts on the bench.
He's with his boy Sully. He's fired up for this.
Of course he is.
I mean, this gets the competitive juices flowing, and it gets competitive juices flowing for a guy who's got a team that's just not there yet.
He probably wanted to get out there and fight when he saw those fights, knowing Torts.
I know he loved
He's
them.
about to smoke. You know him.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's today's Buckeye Bulletin. So where are we on this? Are we laying the 10? Taking the under?
10's a little...
I don't know if I'd take the under and lay the 10. That seems weird. I'm more confident they'll cover the 10 than I am in the under.
Need to get some bounce backs after some of these misses in college basketball recently.
I'm on a bad run.
A little slump.
Well, I didn't think Bama was going to drop 2 in a row. I knew Missouri was tough.
Okay, maybe
Gave up 110.
They got blasted. Yeah, I think the most in their program history. They almost came back, though.
Insane.
They had a little run there. They're bleeding a little bit. I said on the flip side, Missouri see blood in the water now here, but I was going on the trend that they hadn't lost 2 in a row and they bounced back. But Missouri's too good, and they got them. So, yeah, I'm struggling, and I might have a turkey coming. This hockey game goes the wrong way. So,
not the turkey and bowling?
Had one.
I've never done that.
Had one, Maddie. I told you that story. First summer here at the Fan. Wasn't even a full-time employee. We did the bowl-a-thon, and Spiels was there because he was obviously still a full-fledged part of the program here.
Shout out to Chris.
And I had made 2 in a row. And he looked at me and said, "Hey, R, another one? $100.
Hey.
And sure enough, rattled them pins.
Gobble, gobble.
I got the picture of him handing over the cash.
Mm-hmm.
Not make out the check to cash, but real cash.
Let you know what type of baller he is. Just hundreds in the pocket.
And it didn't cost me anything because I didn't say, well, what do I have to give you if I don't?
Right.
It was just, he just wanted to put pressure on me and rise up. We come back with a third hour of the program, and we'll get into fill in the blanks, a CB signature special. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice.
Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fewer restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Get Eco.
Aaron, I've been thinking.
About what?
About how you invented a way to fix ACs for free.
Get Eco.
When customers buy a new HVAC system, we give back all the money they paid us to repair their old system.
Yeah, I know. Up to $1,500.
Get Eco.
We're basically extending the life of their old system for free.
That's right. Those extra years are free. On me.
Don't you think it would be better if we said those extra years are a plus on us?
Sure. We can say that if you want.
I think it would be better.
Get Eco.
We don't want people to forget that you have a silent partner.
Remind me, how did we become partners?
Aaron, we became partners when you let me move into your spare office, and I began giving you free advice instead of paying rent.
Get Eco.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Best deal I ever made.
I feel that way, too.
Get Eco.
Eco. Plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Hey, it's Anthony. I got to tell you, when you don't have the support you need, it affects everything. Feet, knees, hips, back, even your mood. I finally went to the Good Feet store, and once I was personally fitted for my arch supports, I felt a ton better. I will never wear another pair of shoes again without sliding in my personally fit Good Feet arch supports. That's because they help me eliminate my foot pain. It's such a good feeling knowing that I can be on my feet and not worrying about I'm going to wake up with low back pain or feel a weakness somewhere. I trust the Good Feet store because for more than 30 years, they've helped thousands of people just like me get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. They take pleasure in that. And it's their personal 3-step system designed to support, balance, and strengthen your feet that guides them into their ideal position. I'm the proof. I wear them every day, even when I'm biking at the gym. So go in, take the free test walk at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit Rocket.com or call 800-4ROCKET.
Get President's Day deals all month long at Coghlan Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4 LXS, just $131 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoglanKia.com.
1.9% for 60 months equals $17.48 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over. 3401 due. Excludes $250 doc fee. $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 3/3/25.
Something amazing is happening when power outages strike. Teams are powering through them. That's because CDW Solutions architects are building more resilient IT and electrical infrastructures with Schneider Electric. With EcoCare remote monitoring services and 24/7 support, your organization can do more than keep the lights on. Schneider Electric and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Schneider Electric.
order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimus. We have some enormous news coming out of the NBA. The San Antonio Spurs are shutting down Victor Wembanyama for the rest of the season due to deep vein thrombosis, more commonly known as blood clots. This is a huge blow for the Spurs, who are just a few games out of the playoff race currently. They anticipated being in playoff contention, considering they just went out and traded for De'Aaron Fox at the deadline. Wemby led the team in scoring and rebounding, and he also led the league in shot blocking. Also, it's been a few days, but we got some Buckeye hoops tonight. The men will host Northwestern at 6:30 this evening. The early tip means that we have a bit of unique schedule on the FM tonight. Man and Bone will be shutting things down a little bit early. They will be live from 3 to 5:30, opposed to their usual 3 to 6. On the women's side of things, the 8th-ranked Buckeyes will be on the road in Bloomington. Coverage for their game against Indiana will begin at 6:45 on 1460. This update is brought to you by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program. Ian Valentino, A to Z Sports at 2:30. Go a long way in life with a last name like Valentino. Probably should have changed it years ago.
Draft season, baby.
Would have been a big hit.
If you were Anthony Valentino.
No, you got to stay with the Anthony Valentino. That would have been it. A young Anthony Valentino would have really made some moves. And now you would have seen me coming. I mean, it wouldn't have been. You can't hide in plain sight. And not having an act was my act, but that would be a problem.
Okay.
I mean, they would see me coming, and then I would have to actually offset such a great name with kind of just lay low, fly under the radar.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's not flying under the radar is that Team USA. They got to do it to Canada again. It's going to be really difficult. Everybody knows that. I saw a quote from Zach about the expectations and soaking up every moment of this. And there are a lot of people that said, this is almost unfair to do these guys during the season. These GMs that are watching these games on pins and needles, hoping their guy gets out healthy and all that. But his quote was great. He says his expectations and every moment of this, it blew him out of the water, to be honest. This is the most fun I've had playing hockey ever in my life. That's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
And so here they go tonight. He is tied for the lead with Sidney Crosby, of all guys, as the top point scorer in the Four Nations. And now he's got the championship, both of them do, for a chance to take that crown. I hope he does.
Yeah, that's awesome. Going back to the quote that you just read from Z, it reminds me of, I'm watching that Court of Gold documentary on Netflix right now. And in one of the interviews, Kevin Durant literally starts crying just because of how cool it is to represent USA and to be in those type of environment. So that just reminded me of what KD was feeling, because he just talked about, how he grew up and how there's so much hate in the world, and these type of things can galvanize people together and get these guys all on one page. And it has to be really cool for Z to be able to represent his country and play with some of these guys that he goes up against all the time outside of an all-star game, in a situation where you can put on for the United States of America is pretty cool, man. So yeah, tonight's going to be awesome. That atmosphere in Boston is going to be electric, and hopefully we get this thing done. And I think we will.
Yeah, I think we're very hopeful, because they have the talent and they have the goaltending to do it. Everybody knows that. Vegas is not putting this as they're not tipping it towards one or the other. Canada has the history.
Mm-hmm.
They have the talent. They don't have the goaltending right now to measure up to what Team USA has tonight. And then we've got an edge because we've beaten them once. So you can look at it both those ways. We have the confidence from knowing we've beaten them in this tournament not long ago. That's big. And you know who's between the pipes. And that can help a lot. And I think if you throw a lot of shots at Binnington, you're going to get a few. Now, Vegas is telling us this is going to be a low-scoring game, under 5.5. We're looking at a 3-2 game, 3-1 game, something like that. But I'm with you, man. They have everything that it takes to get this done, and the great equalizer is the goalie. You know, I know it's getting a lot of pub, and I can't tell you as a fact that people who don't watch hockey are going to be watching this. I don't. Sports fans who like sports, football, who don't watch hockey, don't pay attention. I don't know if this will be enough to drag them. It's not the Olympics. I don't think it's going to drag them to the TV.
If it was a standalone, I think you get more of the casual sports fans. But because college basketball and the NBA are going on at the same time, they're going to get some eyeballs going elsewhere. But listen, I still think it's going to do a good number. I really do. Yeah. I'd be surprised if it doesn't.
No, it should win the night. All right, CB, win the day with fill in the blanks.
All right, so our first one, I've seen multiple mock drafts with just Ashton Jeanty as the one running back in the first round and others with multiple first-round running backs. So this first one is, if a running back not named Jeanty gets picked in the first round, it will be blank.
Omarion Hampton. He can go.
Tell the folks who Omarion Hampton is, Matty.
Omarion Hampton, for those that don't know, is now a former North Carolina Tar Heel, averaged 6 yards per carry this year, 1,600 yards and 15 tutties. I like him. 6 foot, 220. AR, Ashton Jeanty is the class. He is the head of this class at the running back position. I get it. But I think Omarion Hampton has some goods, man. And especially when you talk about some of those teams later in the draft, maybe your team, AR, takes a swing at one of these running backs in the first round. Like, I really would like the Vikings to maybe get in that business. I know they need defense, but I think with you guys have 2 first-round picks or just one? You guys have just 1 first-round pick, I believe.
I think so.
Just 1. But I like the Vikings, but more importantly, CB, go back to your question directly.
No, that's a good question. I think this is the first year in quite a while every single team has their first-round pick.
Has their own first-round pick. Yeah, thank you for refreshing my memory there. But, yeah, I'm going Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. I like him. He can go.
We got a lot of needs, Matty. I don't know if running back's going to make it all the way up there. It's probably in the middle for the Vikes. I agree, because we've got I think every one of our corners is a free agent. It's like, that's the problem. And so they've got to do something probably in that area, corner where they're picking. We're at 24, I believe. All right. I would say you're correct on that based on his production, and he's not just a collegiate body. He's a big dude, Hampton. 6 feet and change, 220 plus. I think he said first round, so I'm not going to sneak anybody else into the first round. I think the most intriguing guy is Cameron Scadabo of Arizona State. I don't know if he'll be drafted ahead of Dylan Sampson or Caleb Johnson or Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson. But I can tell you this, when those GMs put on the tape of Scadabo, they're going to be tempted. They are going to be tempted to get that physical dude as a 3-down back in their lineup somehow. I don't know when and where, but I wouldn't be surprised if he leapfrogged somebody that's a little more of a known quantity.
All right, number 2, a possible big-name player not being mentioned on the NFL trade market that you can see moving is blank.
I got one for you. DK Metcalf. He doesn't seem like anything but a Seahawk, right? I have not really heard too much about him moving, but I feel like with 1 year left on his deal, this could be the time. They gave him that big contract a couple years ago, and I know that I don't think he has great chemistry with Geno. I don't know where they're going to quarterback. If they bring in a new quarterback like Russ, maybe they have to keep or whatever. But I could see DK moving, and I could see Pete Carroll trying to get the band back together with the Raiders. And I would think he'd be a guy he'd want. So I'm going to heard his name thrown out there. I'm just going to throw it out there now.
Okay. This one hits home for me, CB. I'm going with Marky Mark. Might be time to get Mark Andrews out the paint.
Oh, my.
It might be time. And here's why.
Here's why. You dropped the pass.
You dropped the 2-point conversion that ended our season.
You're gone.
Get out, bro. No, but honestly, Mark Andrews, I think we're getting to that right around 30, maybe a little older than that. You sell, well, you're not really selling high. But he had a decent year.
You want to cut him?
He did have a good year. No, I want to trade him. Okay. And here's the reason why I want to trade him, because the tight end one of the future is already in the building, and Isaiah Likely. So I think Mark Andrews, as CB likes to say, your Uber's ready.
Mm-hmm. He makes a lot of money, and he's going to make a lot of money this year, and he's going to make and the roster bonus is coming fast in March. You may be ahead of this one. I just hate to do it off of the drop, but because you don't want to remember him that way, and Maddie's going to remember him that way if he trades him. Well,
How could I not?
How you could not is if you keep him and he has some good moments and he makes amends on that somehow. Then you won't remember that specifically.
Those plays, they live on forever. They just do.
Sucked for me too.
I know.
I had the daily double. I had the Ravens winning it all and the Buckeyes winning it all. I gave that ticket on this show.
So you should want to trade him too. You blew your ticket. Speaking of tickets, you cashing on your ticket yet, CB?
I still need to. But let's get a quick final one in real quick. The YouTube short. The YouTube short we had from last week on the food topic with the bacon on the pizza did pretty well. Let's get another one in here. The most overrated dipping sauce is blank.
If you're dipping anything in mayonnaise and mayonnaise alone, I got problems. I got a problem with you. I saw a guy eating his chicken fingers and fries when I was out with one of the homies a couple of weeks ago, and it was just mayonnaise. If you want to do mayonnaise with like hot sauce in it, ketchup in it, swirl it around, I'm in on that.
Ketchup and mayonnaise?
Something like that. I used to do it all the time in high school.
But isn't that just Thousand Island dressing?
If you're just doing mayonnaise, come on, dog. That ain't it. I'm going mayonnaise.
Yeah, listen, there were some overrated ones. I think that you could go, there have been so many nice hybrid sauces that we've talked about. It feels like ketchup just kind of now gets kicked to the curb. Yeah. I don't need the hot sauces. So people seem a lot into these hot, like I got to have hot sauce and dip hot sauce. I think this is not going to be popular. This is going to go in with your bacon take a little bit.
I had some supporters on that.
I think that the brown mustard is a little overrated.
Brown mustard.
Yeah. It only works on a couple things for me in the past. It would work on a brat.
Okay.
I don't need it for my fries.
Okay.
I know every ballpark. The stadium mustard, I think, is slightly overrated. Okay. I'm much more into yellow mustard. I don't need the hybrid.
Are you into DJ Mustard? You like any of his music?
I don't know any.
He's the guy that
Tell me about it.
He popped
was that him?
No, he popped up. No, that was no. If it was him, we'd be getting a call from him. But no, he popped up at the Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar. That was who that was. That came out. DJ Mustard. Make some good beats.
Is he DJ spicy mustard or yellow mustard? We'll get to honey mustard. Not overrated, I don't think.
No, very
We
good.
come back and we'll hit you up with a certain guy who thinks a certain team should stick with their success plan. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And everybody's had these pains, these little nicks, these things that you maybe had an injury when you were younger and you thought it went away. And then all of a sudden, as you get old, it starts to creep back. Doing everything, walking up the stairs, doing your favorite activities, golf, skiing, whatever it might be, the summer, the spring, the winter, it hurts. Hey, do not deal with it any longer. The hip, the knee, the shoulder, the back, whatever it is, there's good news. Go to QC Kinetics. They're groundbreaking treatments for that arthritis pain. They're going to make you feel better. The long-term relief, it's now possible. They're right here in Columbus under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sport Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. Don't wait. Make the call today. My dad and I did. His knee's starting to feel better. My knee feels better. They've got PRP treatments. They can change your life. I'm telling you right now. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus for your free consultation or give them a call at 380-228-4544. It's not going to go away on its own. They've got 2 offices in Dublin and Gahanna, so check them out.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. This Saturday is the big day at Verizon on Polaris Parkway. Join me 10 to noon as we draw winners to attend the Navy Federal Credit Union Stadium Series March 1st. Saturday from 10 to noon at Verizon at 1251 Polaris Parkway.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken fingers. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Black history is American history. In this Black History Month, the Ohio Education Association is celebrating the many Black Ohioans who have shaped our past and who are paving the way for a brighter future for all of us. I'm OEA President Scott DeMauro, and as a high school social studies teacher, I've seen how important it is for our students to receive a full and honest education so they can become better critical thinkers. Join the Ohio Education Association in standing up for our students' freedom to learn.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Be careful if you are hitting the roadways today. We are looking at a few icy spots out there. Today's high temperature will be around 20. Heading into tomorrow, it'll be a little bit warmer with a high of 30. We will be looking at a mostly cloudy sky. It'll be sunny both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures will be above freezing. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Bet365 time.
It's a beautiful place, that being Bet365. And at Bet365, folks, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 has launched a new sign-up offer. Listen to this, folks. You bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Customers will receive bonus bets after signing up. Real quick, before I hand it over to you, I'm looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers, your Cleveland Cavaliers, going into Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? And this is a homecoming for Kenny Atkinson and Jared Allen. Kenny Atkinson used to coach the Nets.
Is that Ludacris? Who is that?
Where Brooklyn at?
Yeah.
I think it's Biggie. I think. Don't hold me to that. I think it's Biggie. But they got Jared Allen going back home as well. We talked earlier in the program about USA and Canada. I picked Austin Matthews for the first goal in the game at plus 900. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling freaky today, CB. Take that however you want. I'm going with Jared Allen to score the first basket in a reunion, him going back to Brooklyn. Give me Jared Allen at plus 600 to knock in the first bucket tonight.
I'll tell you, there's some value out there if you want to go first goal USA tonight. I mean, Gensel, Matthew Tkachuk. I went Eichel at like 14-1. I think we both took the Do Boys.
Yeah, we did.
Do the Do Boys. Both guys that need a goal.
I'm going to make it do what it do, baby.
Yeah. I'm going to get on Bet365 right now. So I'm actually getting paid to make a bet.
There you go.
You guys get what's going on right now? I'm on the clock right now.
Yeah.
And I'm making a bet on Bet365, which means I'm getting paid technically to place this bet.
Good life. It's good living.
I'm going to tease Ohio State down. By the way, it just dipped to 9.5, CB, off the 10 line.
What do they know?
I don't know what they know, but I'm going to tease it down to 5.5, just to be safe. Okay. Just Buckeyes win by 6. If it's an ugly game, I think they should cover that. And then I'm going to pair that, and I am going to go all in again. But I'm going to take Team USA to win.
America
at -110, which gets me to a robust +173 if I can hit the parlay. There's the two-teamer. Team USA, Buckeyes -5.5.
There you go.
+173.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Well, Nick said the most overrated dipping sauce is blue cheese. I don't really... I know they offer it with the wings and everything, and I hate blue cheese. I've always hated it. Hated it as a kid. I accidentally ordered a cheeseburger with blue cheese. I didn't know any better. I didn't know what it was or what it meant. And I got it, and I literally got sick.
Really?
Like, it was horrible. You can't even scrape it off because it's just always going to taste that way.
I have to have it with my wings. Now, when I get my wings, I do ranch and blue cheese. I'm a fan of blue cheese only when I'm eating wings, though. Like, I can't do, like, a wedge salad with a whole bunch of blue cheese on it. Like, that doesn't work for me. I do like the crumbles, though. I do like blue cheese crumbles. I'm in on that.
Yeah, can't do the taste. But I never really included it in dipping sauce, but Nick is chiming in on that. All right.
What up, Nick?
Let's get to our boy CC, Chris Carter. Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And the Vikings won 14 games in the regular season, and their head coach, Kevin O'Connell, which we saw at the Super Bowl, has been kind of quick to note that Sam Darnold has a future. He thinks it's with the Vikes. He doesn't know. Here's what CC would do.
What should the Vikings do at quarterback going forward?
Well, I think they should keep both quarterbacks. When you have quarterbacks that play well in your system the way Sam Darnold did, I would not let him go in free agency. I would franchise him, pay him $41 million, and then let him and JJ have a competition come the fall. Ooh. Now, I think last summer, JJ might have been ahead of him when he got hurt. But Sam and what KO does there as a coach with the quarterbacks, man, is just phenomenal. Like, it is incredible what he was able to get out of Sam Darnold because we thought we knew Sam Darnold. 99% of all the players that play in the National Football League were all system players. And if we don't have the right system to highlight our abilities, we will look like average or bad players. And that's what Sam Darnold getting matched up. Baker Mayfield getting matched up with someone in his ear, someone who sees the same thing and puts him in a system that he can thrive. So it happens all the time. It happened in Minnesota. We franchise him because having a quarterback like Sam in the year he had, he will always be a commodity.
What do you think of that,
speaks
Vikings
right
fan?
to my heart, doesn't he?
This is your team.
I mean, he really does, and we have till March 4th to do it, so we can even wait a little bit. Now, maybe the most fun I've ever had on the show was explaining to Shefty what the different tags are yesterday. That was fun for me. I think we could transition him, and that would allow us to match another offer. And now here's the problem with that, and I don't think it's probably the best move, but then we wouldn't receive compensation if we chose not to match. So that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
But if we transition tag him at $36 million, we might as well just pay the freight on the tag and get him. He's only 27. I think that's the key. He had a downer. I'm not ready to put him in the Uber with Mark Andrews and just bundle that thing.
CB's got Deshaun in the Uber. I got Mark Andrews in the Uber. Got an Uber XL going on here. I think CC makes some really good points, especially when he talks about the continuity, like the continuity within the offense and being able to get into the offseason program, minicamp, OTAs, training camp, and all that stuff, and hit the ground running and have a guy in there that, like he was saying, knows all the checks, knows all the audibles, and knows the ins and outs of, hey, this is where Justin Jefferson likes the ball on this route, and Jordan Addison, and just all of those finite details that go into having a successful offense. For Sam, as you mentioned, like, the ending, it sucked. It wasn't great, but big picture, he put together a tremendous regular season along with his teammates. And so I would completely understand if the Minnesota Vikings did that. And I actually like the vibe of, we like what you did, but we really don't know if this is who you're going to be for the remainder of your career. And eventually, they're going to want to hand the keys over to JJ. You spent the first-round pick on that dude. You have to see at some point in time what he is. And so one more lap around the track with Sam Darnold, I see the vision. But he's got to earn it in camp, like CC said.
Yeah, it's tough because if you're going to tag him at $40+ million, then you're not going to be able to help your roster as much as you want to. They've got a guy on a rookie quarterback contract in JJ.
Yeah.
And the problem is this season was so good, it's got them advancing their thought. And maybe they got to reset for a second and say, okay, this was in a vacuum. We had a great year. It ended poorly. But they need offensive linemen, interior defensive linemen, corners. You start tagging him at $41 million, I don't know how we're going to help the roster the way they need it. And I'm okay with doing it because I think they're in the winning business still, and it was a fun year, and he's got a future. And there are no guarantees with JJ.
I'm not going long term with Sam Darnold.
No,
I'm not doing.
And I don't think they're going to be competing against a ton of teams either. So maybe they ought to wait and see on that. All right, we come back in 2 minutes with our guy Ian Valentino, A to Z Sports, and we'll get his take on the NFL draft and is it really top heavy or not. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Winter is here and it is cold outside. As you enjoy the comforts of your home from the inside, let Newman Roofing protect your home from these harsh winter conditions. If you're noticing roofing, gutter, or siding issues, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
For the Blue Jackets, the magic happens on the ice. But for Blue Jackets fans looking for an amazing getaway, the real Florida magic is here in Central Florida's Polk County. From the natural beauty of Bach Tower Gardens to the all-ages fun at Legoland Florida Resort to the chance to do some luxurious glamping on a working dude ranch, it's all here. Even better, it's all just minutes from other area theme parks too. Discover everything we offer and plan your trip to see the real Florida at visitcentralflorida.com today.
Hey, it's Anthony. I got to tell you, when you don't have the support you need, it affects everything. Feet, knees, hips, back, even your mood. I finally went to the Good Feet store, and once I was personally fitted for my arch supports, I felt a ton better. I will never wear another pair of shoes again without sliding in my personally fit Good Feet arch supports. That's because they help me eliminate my foot pain. It's such a good feeling knowing that I can be on my feet and not worrying about I'm going to wake up with low back pain or feel a weakness somewhere. I trust the Good Feet store because for more than 30 years, they've helped thousands of people just like me get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. They take pleasure in that. And it's their personal 3-step system designed to support, balance, and strengthen your feet that guides them into their ideal position. I'm the proof. I wear them every day, even when I'm biking at the gym. So go in, take the free test walk at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony sometimes likes to sit and stare at his bundle of Emmy Awards. Unfortunately, it's through the glass of the pawn shop. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
It's true, but they're technically still mine. All right, Ian Valentino, we welcome him back. NFL Draft Study, A to Z Sports, covering the great league of the National Football League for us. And he's with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Ian, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
What we're trying to figure out here in a little bit of Browns country is if they have their choice If Tennessee does them, and I guess this would be a favor, maybe not, if they take Abdul Carter and the Browns get their pick of the quarterbacks, where are you on both these guys? Are they separated at all in any big way for you? And also, are they worthy of being picked at 2?
Yeah, I'm surprised how much of a discussion that there's been a little bit about this, because I tend to think we get a little crazy during draft season because we start asking questions like this, and we see guys like Myles Garrett and some of these other great pass rushers. They don't have a one-to-one correlation with their greatness and actually winning. So you need to have a great team to win either way, but the impact of a quarterback is obviously so vast that you can't weigh the position like you would any other position. So I like what you're asking here. And I think that these guys, it's funny because you see some mock drafts where it's like Carter goes 1 or 2, like you mentioned, and then all of a sudden at 3 and 6 or 7, you've got both of these other quarterbacks coming off. And that's a little bit strange to me, because I'm like, if the quarterback is worth taking at 3, is he not worth taking at number 1? So I think that in itself almost answers your question, where I think that these guys are, both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, are worth the number 1 and number 2 picks. Now, obviously, you have to check some boxes there with personality, and if you think that they're going to grow into the individuals that they need to be successful in the NFL. But let's assume that that's the case. Look at their on-field play. I think there's a lot to build off of for both guys. They're a little bit different. Shedeur Sanders a little bit more cerebral, a little bit more of a guy that is plug and play, I think, into certain systems, especially in Cleveland. I think he'd fit really well. Look at the coaching tree and their influences, along with the coaching tree that is at Colorado. It's very similar. Some guys that have worked together in the past, so it's a little bit easier to kind of project that. Cam Ward is a little bit different. He's got the physical traits that you look for that says he's got at least a Pro Bowl physical skill set. Does he have the rest of the game that will follow it up? So I like these guys a lot. I honestly view them both as guys that are worthy for the top 2 picks.
Staying at the quarterback position, is there another quarterback in this draft cycle that you believe is worth a first-round pick?
Yeah, I think you could talk me into Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback. I think he's got a little bit more doubt on his scouting report because he's coming from a little bit of a Mickey Mouse offense where it's very RPO-based. It's pretty easy as far as what Lane Kiffin does for his quarterbacks. The playmakers around him made his job a little bit easier. And you don't want to hold it against the quarterback too much when that happens, but we've seen it time and time again. Some of those easier offenses that are very pre-snap based, one read, shoot and throw type of thing, those guys generally struggle at the NFL level. It's not all of them, and so you don't want to brush too broad of a stroke there, but he's got good physical tools, not amazing physical tools. So I think for him it's going to be like Bo Nix last year. If you put him in the right position, you surround him with a good team, not that Denver was a great team last year, but you put him with a good coaching staff, I think he'll be worth it. The question is whether are you going to want to replace him in 6 to 8 years, or is he a guy that you can actually win with? That might be a little bit of a different discussion. Everyone else, I think, is in that day 2 mix where you want to sit down. You want to wait a little bit of time, get the right team around him. I think Will Howard is interesting, maybe not as a first-round guy, but I think he's probably as pro-ready as you can get without being a first-round guy, and I don't think there's a real big gap between Howard and Dart. So it is a little interesting to see why that is, why maybe the evaluators haven't really caught up to that. I know Howard doesn't throw the deep ball extremely well, but he's got a lot of other positives to him. So I don't think it's a bad quarterback class. I just think it's an odd one because all of these guys are at different places developmentally.
The other guy that we talked about initially for Cleveland, if they just want to be as safe and good as possible, would be Travis Hunter. That, even though the quarterback is certainly a massive need, that you could have a pretty cool generational type of player here. Is that too high for your liking?
No, I don't think it is. I think if you're getting the backing from ownership to say, look, we're going to go out in free agency, we're going to go get our veteran quarterback, whoever that is, and we're just going to bridge the gap. Maybe we take a guy on day 2, and we bridge the gap in 2025. We figure it out in 2026. You have your job security. Don't worry about it. Take who you want to take. Don't feel pressured. Well, then I would start with Travis Hunter. I think that makes a lot of sense. He embodies a lot of what Cleveland has and what Cleveland needs. He's a super hard worker, incredibly smart football player, incredibly smart young man. And I think just injecting that, go back to Jarvis Landry and what he brought to that franchise, I think is leadership perspective and showing your work. I think that Travis Hunter there's no better example than that, than Travis Hunter. So it makes sense. I could probably pitch you on, some other guys maybe playing more important positions, like left tackles, obviously a huge need. Wide receiver, still a big need. I know Hunter could play both, but I think he'll be a corner in the NFL and maybe play some wide receiver. I'm pretty sure the teams look at him as a corner, though. Maybe a defensive tackle like Mason Graham, edge rusher Abdul Clark. Like, you can pitch those guys, but as far as a personality and building around a superstar presence, there's no doubt that he's that guy.
So the Bengals are picking at 17. They've got, some interesting all-season decisions to make with, their 2 wide receivers and their pass rusher and Trey Hendrickson. If things don't go well with the whole T. Higgins deal, is there a wide receiver that you would look at that's worthy of taking 17th overall that you believe could go down in Cincinnati and maybe hit the ground running for them?
I do. I think they're perfectly positioned, actually, and they can go in any number of directions at wide receiver, barring a very surprising early run on where they could go here. Tetraro McMillan, I think he's probably going to be off the board out of Arizona. He's built in that T. Higgins mold, 6'5", great after the catch. He would actually be someone that if they could get him, even if, outside, if they can keep their other guys, I think he's the obvious guy for them to even trade up for would make sense. If they only lose Higgins, then I think that would be in the cards for them. But otherwise, I don't think they have to force that. Emeka Egbuka, I think he would be phenomenal, really anywhere that he lands. I'm a huge fan of his game. He's a lot different than Jamar Chase in some ways because he's not as much of a home run hitter, but he's a little bit safer on underneath stuff. But he can line up anywhere. He's an amazing athlete. He's probably being undervalued throughout this whole draft process just because Ohio State had so many different weapons. Trey Harris out of Ole Miss, a little bit more towards that traditional T. Higgins type of role. He might be a little bit of a reach for what some might consider, but I think he'd fit really well in that offense. Luther Burden is almost a clone of Jamar Chase, and that would be really fun, too, to have 2 guys that have similar skill sets who can create after the catch and are also very dangerous on deep routes as well. So they're going to have those options. I'd be surprised if all those guys were off the board. Matthew Golden would be the other guy who's rising from Texas. He's more of a speedster. He's probably less of a fit because I think he's more of a intermediate to deep threat, almost like Chase. So he's almost like a 90% of Chase, and I wouldn't necessarily want that skill set. But if they walked out of there and they took him, I still think you're getting a really good player. So I would be, if I'm Cincinnati, I'd probably be willing to let T. Higgins go and take care of the guys that I already have inside the building because I think you can replace that, one, his durability or lack thereof, a little bit easier, and you can replace him a little bit cheaper through the draft.
That might be the end result. They're not going to say that publicly, but certainly that could be the end result. Ian Valentino with us, A to Z Sports on Rothman and Ice. Is Ashton Jeanty like a lock? Is he bust proof in your mind? And is it almost a lock that if he's available for Dallas at 12, that Jerry will take him?
I would say that, yeah, he probably is pretty close to a lock. I think as far as you're looking at talent, looking at the running backs that have come out over the last couple of even decades, you're looking at Adrian Peterson, you're looking at Saquon Barkley, and there's been some other really good running back prospects, but it's not like Ashton Jeanty is someone, if you want to take like a recent loss like Najee Harris, like there's a huge gap between what those 2 guys were coming out of college. Jeanty's much, much more closer to the guys that we're going to be talking about, Hall of Fame caliber. When you look at his skill set, what he did, the way he does it, it all makes sense. There's no reason to think any of that won't translate extremely well outside of some freak accidents or injuries, right? So if we take injuries off the table, I think so. Dallas is interesting. I think his range probably starts, maybe around 9 with New Orleans and 10 in Chicago. And then I don't think that Dallas is a lock to take him, though, because I want to see what Dallas does this offseason. I don't know that they're going to have a chance to go land a really high-end number 2 receiver. And that, to me, is like that range where they need some defenders as well. Maybe Will Johnson out of Michigan. It sounds like he's falling a little bit. And I don't know how they could justify taking Jeanty over maybe the start of that wide receiver run with McMillan or maybe like a Will Johnson type. I could get a little bit of the justification because you look at Ezekiel Elliott, like how much success they had with him, and he was a great player. But I just think that they're going to have a hard time selling themselves on that unless if they check off other boxes in free agency. So I think that's in his range, but I could see him falling to as low as like Denver or the Chargers. I think his floor is a little bit more towards the 20s.
Well done. Nice little breakdown. A little draft primer for us, our friend Ian Valentino. NFL Draft Study on Twitter, and, of course, A to Z Sports covering the NFL. Thanks, my man. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Ian was on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We come back with Tell the Truth next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Beloved former basketball coach and educator Satch Sullinger knows you got to keep moving to stay healthy. But that's not so easy when your aching joints won't cooperate.
We still want to move and we still want to get around and we still want to be active, but we start to deteriorate the moment we quit moving.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help restore movement in stiff, aching knees, hips, shoulders, and back, using only your natural healing properties to help restore damaged joints. That's a huge positive for Satch.
It's working, and what I really like about it is there's nothing foreign put in my body. Everything that was put in my body has been taken from my body. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I want to live until the day I die.
Get rid of the pain and start moving again. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus and call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. Again, 208-4544. QC Kinetics.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and by the time that you're hearing this message, I'll be down 50 pounds. That is 50. I recorded this last Thursday when I was down 48 pounds, and yep, I've probably already hit 50 by now. That's how fast Awaken 180 works. Now, how many hours of working out did it take? How many parties did I have to skip? Not that I party anyways, but how many did I have to skip? None. How many injections did I have to take? None. Zero. Nada. I did it by eating to lose weight with Awaken 180. That's it. Just over 2 months, I've dropped 50 pounds without making my life miserable. Maybe you're rocking a XXX like me, size 40 pant. Maybe you're swimming in your XXXs and thinking about what life would feel like in an XL. I promise you, if I can do this, so can you. Awaken 180 is simple. The coaches are awesome, and the results come quick when you're doing it the correct way. It's not only about hoping to lose weight, it's about knowing that you will. Awaken 180 Weight Loss makes it simple. You can get started and see for yourself. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Morning Juice.
I tell you that Willie loves Jack White, and then my mom can't keep the name straight of it. And she goes, so who is that, Black Jack or Jack Black? I'm like, those are very different ends of the Jack spectrum.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
A system for every home and every budget at Logan AC and Heat Services. Get a free Trane furnace with the purchase of an air conditioner and tax credits up to $2,600. Schedule your free estimate now. Logan Services.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right, so we now know that both Chris Carter and AR want Sonny Delight, Sam Darnold to stay with the Minnesota Vikings. But let's just talk about hypotheticals real quick. In my scenario, they don't keep Sam Darnold. He hits the market, and Matthew Stafford gets traded from the Rams. Tell the truth. If Stafford gets traded in this scenario, would they or should they take a chance on Sam Darnold?
I don't think he's a great fit for them. Stafford moves around, and Darnold can run too, but listen, I've watched the Rams in the red zone, and they're not great at throwing the ball there. I feel like if he loses Cooper Kupp and all he has is Puka, right now he's got JJ, he's got Addison, he's got Hawkinson. You throw him on the Rams, I just don't think you'll have the equal success, even though you have the McVay tree there. Shanahan had him for a little bit, so he knows the weaknesses. He knows the game, so he'll be able to defend him. This is weird because I don't want to just crush Darnold. He had a great year. I think let's just all be honest. How much is this going to be duplicated? Can it be duplicated? He's young. I always want to believe that guys can get better. He certainly got better with this coach, with that talent. I'm willing to see it for another year. I've admitted we have bigger problems, but the quarterback spot, if you now go to a rookie coming off an injury, then you have no clue what you have. So we're in a weird spot. It is. You don't want to reward the guy and pay him, north of $50 million and give him a contract because you just don't think he's that guy. That's why I am in the camp of tag, just to stay competitive for a year. And then if he does it again, and then you feel like you want to open up the vault for him, okay, then maybe he's proved it 2 years in a row. But to answer your original question, should the Rams go after him if they lose Stafford? That's quite a come down. That's quite a come down. He might be serviceable, but you wouldn't be handing him the same weapons he has now.
Yeah, the problem for the Rams is they be a team at the buffet line that's starving, and there's one maybe item left on the line that you don't like.
They're not bringing out the new tray yet.
But we
Can't
gotta
wait
eat
for the new tray.
We gotta eat. And so for Sam Darnold, the timing for him couldn't be any better because this free agent class at the quarterback position, it's not that great. And so when we're talking about Sam Darnold potentially being the headliner of a free agent class, that tells you where we are. And so if you're the Rams, and let's say you do trade Stafford, which I wouldn't do.
Who's that?
Apple Watch. I don't know what that was. I'm not trading Stafford. That's first things first. But if you do, AR, I don't know if there's a better option than Sam Darnold. You're talking about a Kirk Cousins that we have no idea what he's going to look like again moving forward. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones,
Mr. Unlimited.
And so that guy and the other guys I just mentioned, are they better options than Sam Darnold? I don't think so. So I wouldn't want to do it because I think you laid out some really good points. But if I'm Sean McVay, who else is better?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
By the way, I enjoy the Apple Watch Flex. That was pretty good.
That was right
I don't
there.
know. Must be the Apple Watch.
Sometimes when I say CB, Siri, thinks I'm talking to her. And I'm not. I'm talking to my wonderful producer over there.
Find out right now today is true.
All right, we didn't get to the fan poll yesterday, so I want to bring it up today. The question was, how many Buckeyes will go in the first round of the NFL draft? Is it 0, 1, 2, or 3 plus?
Two's the safe bet, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in the 2 camp just because I don't know if teams are going to look at Travion and Quinchon and say we should take them in the first round. I don't think those guys are going to have to wait around too long in this year in the NFL draft. But Josh Simmons, Emeka feels safe to me. So I'm going 2. Josh may be the first tackle off the board. He's in that conversation of top 3.
Yeah, they are a championship team, so they're going to get a little more of the narrative. Buckeyes perform in the NFL, but I agree with you. Not many teams like to risk a first rounder on a running back.
Yeah.
That's the tough call. I do think that Donovan and Tyleek, somebody could sneak up and say, Could the Eagles say at 32 if they stay there, we got to have this Tyreek Williams?
You bring up a good name.
Sweat leaving.
You bring up a good name with Donovan AR just because of what he put on tape.
Absolutely.
Like, you slide over to left tackle and play the way that he played, and with the stuff you have on tape already at guard, his value is
That's what I'm saying. They have the beauty of having those games. You know, I'm going to amend my pick. 3. That way I don't have to work. That way I get the field a little bit. That way if we get Simmons and Emeka to go for sure, then I get Travion, Quinshawn, Donovan, Tyreek. If one of the 4 can sneak into the 32, then I win that.
Did you not mention Sawyer? Because I think some mocks have him at the back end.
All right, so I get 5 in my field that could sneak. I'm going to amend my pick to 3.
There you go.
Why would you worry?
All right, think about your favorite teams: the Ravens and the Vikings.
The Lions?
And the Lions. You can include the Lions if you want.
Sure.
But those 3 teams, who do you want your favorite NFL team to target in the first round of the draft?
I just gave it away. I want them to target Tyreek. I think the Vikes, that'd be pretty strong.
I want a pass rusher. It's been a minute. Like, since we had a Terrell Suggs type. I know Kyle Vanoy's coming over and do some good things, but I want a dude that's got some youth on his side and that just gets after it, right? Because being inside the AFC North and having to deal with CB's boy Myles Garrett and have to deal with TJ Watt, it sucks. Those dudes are menaces, man. They're absolute game wreckers. So I like Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. He may be there late. But if they go away from that, I would continue to build around Lamar, offensive line or a weapon. I wouldn't be mad at that either. But first for me, I want a pass rusher, CB. You need a dude that can get busy on that D-line.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, and the final one real quick. Where does Ryan Day rank in current college football coaches? Is he number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5th or lower?
CB, let me ask you this. Does he have the trophy?
He does.
He's number 1 right now. Number 1.
It's hard to deny him that. If you said, in a perfect world, if you said you get to erase everything, all contracts, and you get to pick a guy that you're going to lead, I think it would be maybe a little more difficult not to take Kirby Smart based on the bigger sample. But you start naming the rest. Look what he did.
Yeah.
Look what he did. Now, he had a lot of talent, but I'll tell you, that thing was teetering.
Kirby has talent.
You probably
too,
wouldn't take him.
They all
do.
Kirby.
Sark has talent. Lanning has talent.
No doubt.
But one guy flipped the switch.
Yeah.
And they all did it together, but I don't have a problem with what you said.
The truth shall set you free.
Just gotta take care of that one little burr in the saddle.
If you miss anything from our show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Our podcast is sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone. Common Man has let me know that he has received the best sports news in 25 years for him personally. You don't want to miss that next.
All right, we will come back tomorrow, hopefully celebrating Team USA's victory over Canada and a little celebration of my Bet365 bank account. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are Men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
To find an agent near you, visit shelterinsurance.com and switch today.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Bone, did you know that the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus has over 30 TVs, 2 massive video walls? They even have recliners, a full-service bar and restaurant, a betting counter, and over 30 kiosks?
I did know that, but I also know that you can reserve a table right now at Hollywood Casino Columbus at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook and guarantee your spot and get some game day swag while you do it. Just visit HollywoodColumbus.com/casino/sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March?
What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind.
To send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000.
Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on 2 different nights. Thursday, they'll be at Classics Pickerington on Stone Creek Drive from 8 to 10 p.m. Then on Friday at Pastimes in Worthington from 7 to 9.
Both events will have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinder Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HinderMotorCompany.com.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit Rocket.com or call 800-4ROCKET.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit Ohio.